You're watching KTN Prime. Thank you for staying with us. So in studio, we have Bishop David Oginde from CITAM, and we're having a conversation about the way forward for Kenya. Bishop, where the point we are talking about dialogue. There have been calls from different leaders, probably NASA leader and Uhuru Kenyatta should sit down and have a conversation, because whether we like it or not, both of them have huge following behind them. Is that going to be the solution if they have that conversation?
As religious leaders and other key players in the society, the business community and other people, the diplomatic community, there has been a call for dialogue. Now, that has been understood from different sides variously. But we have been calling for a different kind of dialogue. Like now, we are still calling for the same, but we see this dialogue at two levels. The first one is really between the two people, the two principals, the two leaders.
Okay.
Honorable Raila, Honorable Uhuru, to agree that we have a problem. And that these problems can be sorted out through discussion and understanding one another. The problem is not between the two of them. The problem is a Kenyan problem. But for them just to come to that point where they can accept that there's a problem, they may be looking at that problem from different perspectives. Certainly, President Uhuru, from where he sits as a president of the nation, he's looking at the whole situation that we are in from a totally different perspective from which Raila, as an opposition leader, may be looking at it. As long as each of them is pushing that course from their own perspective, we can only head to a collision. But if they say, this is how I'm looking at this issue, this is how you're looking at that issue, how then can we move forward? And we are not talking here about sharing power. We are talking about we have a problem. You look at the elections, every 5 years, we get into this problem. Definitely there's a problem.
Okay, so we need to have...
So that is one dialogue that we are talking about at that level. Okay. The second level of dialogue is for all Kenyans. And that cannot take place until the other one has taken place, so from where I sit.
That one has to take place first before...
Because who will bring us together? Who will bring us together?
Okay.
Think of a family.
Yeah.
What would you do, Linda, if your parents are fighting?
Take sides.
Take sides. Then you make the situation worse. You know? Wise children don't take sides. They say, Mommy, Daddy, please sit down. Let's sort out whatever is happening.
Are Kenyans even able to do that right now and say, okay, fine, you guys may have an issue, but let's fix this?
Yes, that's the thing. Now, once Mom and Dad have agreed to sit down and at least agree that they can sit down, now the children can come in and say, from where we sit, this is what we are seeing. This is what Mommy has been saying, this is what Daddy has been saying, but this is the problem we are seeing. So now the whole group can come in, and that's what we are seeing. Because
you're a respected voice in the religious field, I'd like to give you a minute to just address the millions of Kenyans out there on the way forward. So that would be your which one? Okay.
This one.
So that would be your camera. Okay, so this is your chance to address millions of Kenyans out there in a minute. Yeah.
It's exactly what I have said. We as Kenyans, we must remember that no one wins in any war. No one wins. Everybody loses something. There may be those who lose less than others, but as it is said, when two bulls fight, it's the grass that suffers. And so it is our responsibility at this point not to take sides on which camp or this camp, but rather to come together and say, this nation belongs to us. What can we do as a people? First of all, to live in harmony one with another, because your neighbor is not your problem. The one you are beating is not your problem. The one you are shooting is not your problem. The problem lies elsewhere. And therefore, we need to come together as a people and appreciate that when we live together in unity, in harmony, then we can be able to listen to one another and sort out the issues that are there before us.
All right. Bishop David Oginde, Presiding Bishop, Crisis and Answer Ministries, thank you so much for your time this evening. Probably this is a conversation that needs more time so that Kenyans can understand where we are and where we are going. But we thank you all the same for your time. And I hope millions of Kenyans out there are listening on the way forward. Thank you, sir. All right, so